Hello, STRIDEmates, and welcome to the very first episode of Stride Block Party, your friendly neighborhood podcast. I'm Niko, and if you know Stride Vegas very well, then you know we're more than just a run club. We're about community, connection, and creating moments that last beyond the run. But this podcast is the next evolution of Stride Vegas. We'll be taking stories from the streets and into the studio. We'll be having conversations with local business owners, the other run clubs, and of course, just sprinkle in some fun along the way. But before we get to all of that, there's only one place that we could truly start, the very beginning, the origin, the story of how Stride Vegas came together. And to help me out tell this story, I have some very special guests, some of the founding members of Stride Vegas. Woo!
We're here.
On my left, we have our OG jog pace leader, a lover of charcuterie boards, and probably my emergency contact since I'm single AF. We have Ashley. And next to Ashley, we have our OG walk pace leader, the queen of Socha, and the woman responsible for ripping my pants at a work party when we were dancing on the dance floor. We have Jennifer.
Woo! Good morning.
And last but not the least, we have the woman who probably started off like doing our announcements and warm-ups at Stride, and she's also the person that you could see 10 miles away because of her drag queen eyelashes. We have BK.
They're much less drag queen, actually. We've changed over the years.
Yes.
Yeah. It's an evolution,
Yes.
just like Stride.
Exactly. Ooh, nice tie-in, Jen.
Yes. All right, how are we all doing this morning? Are we ready?
Let's do this.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, let's go ahead and talk about our first segment. I like to call Walk the Talk. So just like a few just warm-ups, just really get to, spark conversations and all that stuff. So first off, I want you to think back mentality-wise, like 2016, before even Stride was even a thing. I want to know, when you hear the words run club, what's the first thing that comes to mind for you personally?
Prior to 2017,
Mm-hmm.
agony,
Yeah.
joints hurting, pounding. That's what I thought of Run Club prior to that.
Yeah, I think Run Club for me was the antithesis of me being in a yoga club. So yeah, I prior to joining Stride or everything that we've developed, I always preferred more passive movement.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much more that comes from Stride and everything that we do as a run club.
Mm-hmm.
I would say before then, when I heard Run Club, I would have flashbacks to high school. I was on the track team, wanting to throw up, just the pressure of everything. And that's actually not what Run Club is at all.
Nice. Yeah, for me personally, I only did like one run in like middle school, and I thought it was the best thing on earth, and then I just gave it up for theater and dance.
So you weren't a runner prior to 2016?
No, I wasn't really. I would do it just occasionally, just because, my strong cardio was always dance,
Yeah.
So, but again, kind of like you, just like it's some sort of movement, right? So, and that was my cardio, so.
Yeah, and yours was high school. Mine was never.
I confess, Stride was my second Run Club.
Okay.
Oh.
So really, the way that I described it was the way that I felt prior to my first time kind of running. I joined an organization called Team in Training with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but I started running, I think it was maybe 2007-ish, 2008. And those were my feelings on running prior to joining it. And then this crazy thing happened. I crossed the finish line of my first marathon, in the entire 26 miles, it was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? This is insane. And I crossed that finish line and I was like, okay, this is something new unlocked for me. And what's my next race? And then I took some time. I did some racing for a few years, took some time off, and then joined Stride.
Yeah. Now, we have a mixture of backgrounds with quote unquote running, but let's be perfectly honest. Did you ever picture yourself actually joining one?
No, remember I'm the walk club leader.
Yes.
Passive movement, Niko.
No, I never pictured myself joining a run club again, and I didn't really volunteer as much as I was voluntold that I would be doing this run club.
Yeah, it's going to be a lovely theme throughout this whole thing. A lot of us got voluntold.
But look at where we are now.
Exactly.
Right?
So obviously, I think this answers for itself. But what was your relationship with running, or even some sort of movement that is related to running before Stride? I think you touched on this. You were, in high school and all that stuff on the track team.
Yes, before Stride, I ran in high school. I did track, I did cross country, I loved it. But then I went to college and it kind of fell out. I kept running just occasionally for workout purposes, just to get cardio in with strength training. But it wasn't something I sought after, wanted to be a part of a community. It was just, hop on the treadmill so I can make sure I can run 20 minutes so I don't die in life.
I would say, okay, running was punishment for me when I first got introduced to it because I was a cheerleader at UNLV and we used to have weigh-ins. This is back in the day. We used to have weigh-ins based on your height and how much you weighed. So sometimes I would be punished and have to run the lap or 2 or 3, depending on what happened that week.
Yeah.
But I think running for me was never initially like about fun. It really was seen as a punishment, and I didn't see it as community or anything at all. So, yeah.
I'm like you, Niko. I started in theater and have been doing theater all my life, working in, special events in LA and things like that. And I didn't even work out, period. It was like, I think people back, who knew me in my 20s would have been freaked out to like even learn that I was like joining a run club. Because I was that was not my thing. Physical working out was just not my thing. I wanted to sing and dance and run a stage and do things like that. I didn't care about. I didn't even have sports in my school, in my high school. I went to a performing arts school, so just physical activity just wasn't, other than dancing, like I said, wasn't something I was into.
I feel you, Jennifer, because you unlocked a memory. Because for dance, same thing. We would get punished. We had this thing called Hell Week, so it was in the summer while we were trying to train for competitions and stuff. And of course, we had Hell Week, and for every minute that someone was late, the full team wasn't there, it would be a lap. There was one time we had to do 10 laps. I was like, no, never again. Oh, man. But yeah, well, thank you for sharing all that, y'all. So let's go ahead and really get into the meat of the conversation on why we're here today. The next segment is called Jog the Memory. So I want to take it way back. I want to take it back to 2017. Who was, I love getting the different perspectives of this kind of like beginning stages. So who was at the very first run, or at the very least, what was your first run at Stride, and what do you remember most about it?
Perhaps between the four of us, we can piece this together. I don't know exactly when or where it all happened, really, and how things kind of unfolded. I know where the inception came from. I do have vivid memories of that, but I don't remember my first run. Is that terrible?
Well,
No. I was like,
it's safe to say we've been around for 8 years.
I
We're really trying to
Once a
jog the
week.
memory.
once a week for 8 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why we're here collectively. We
Well,
could hopefully
I
pick up the
definitely
pieces.
remember we were at Mandarin Oriental at the time. It was part of the hotel. It was about bringing community and taking the spa and wellness and fitness experience outside of the four walls. And I know that was the inception. Also finding great partnerships to help cultivate a community and a club. So those are my memories.
Yes, I would love to know. So I know Carissa and Donald.
Yes.
You'll have to get them on a part 2.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
kind of somehow met at something. Somehow they met, and a conversation started about potentially a run club. And I know Donald at the time, well, he still is an avid runner, but he's such an avid runner. And then Carissa brought this back to the Lululemon team. I used to work for Lululemon, as did Carissa. And it was kind of an initiative of Lululemon at the time to build community. And since we were a store on the Strip, it made a lot of sense to build that community with Mandarin Oriental.
And having a leader that was so passionate at that level and understood it was amazing, right? And recognized that there's opportunity for partnerships and doing events and really kind of reaching out beyond the hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that blossomed into a lot of stuff at the hotel, actually, like Global Wellness Day that we did together, even morphed into some yoga and things like that. So for building a partnership, it was really successful in that.
How about you, Ashley? What's your first memories of Stride?
I think we just did a lot of events together, and we had done pool events, we had done massage events. I was in charge of Wellness Week. And so when Stride started, they were just, here's another event you have to go do. I mean, we would like you to go do. And
We would like to volunteer.
I was not the only one.
Yes. Shout out to Sandra.
Bosses.
exactly. There were multi-levels of bosses.
You seem to really enjoy it though, Ashley.
They're like, you do fitness stuff, go run. I was like, okay. So I just remember this was another activation that we were doing, and I had no idea that this was the beginning of something huge.
Yeah, if I do remember the very first one, obviously I was there, and I think it was only just myself, Sandra, BK, Carissa, I think it was, and Donald, because I took the very first picture of Stride. We were just like, let's remember this sort of situation. And then I use that picture periodically for all of our anniversaries. And I just think, how young did I look back then?
I know. Grassroots. That was some grassroots.
Yes. You guys touched on this a little bit already, but I would like to hear probably from more Jennifer and BK's perspective of the inception of it. So what was told to you, or what was in conversations of like the early days, the vision, the purpose of this run club, which, side note, we didn't even have a name, by the way. Like, we didn't even have a name. We were just like a coffee run club, basically.
Right.
So the name Stride wasn't even in existence for about like 2 years.
Yeah, I can tell you, so we had a very senior leader in the spa division, and they were based out of Hong Kong. And Mandarin Oriental was a hotel, or is a hotel, that's usually in smaller destinations. And so that's typically part of the programming where they reach out into the community. And so here we are in Vegas, which is, you've got all kinds of outside hotels and casinos and competition for people's time. It's a little bit different. And so I felt really challenged by that. And the suggestion to start finding a partnership, which is where Lululemon came in. But again, having that leader, that senior leader, kind of helped to frame things up, and then perhaps a little voluntold as well. Not reluctant at all.
It seems to be the theme.
Yeah, it was fun.
Well, speaking for Lululemon, I think that we were really in this space of growth on the Strip, and really realizing that if we're going to grow on the Strip, we need to have partnerships on the Strip as well, and really wanting to connect with some of the more luxury brand hotels while still maintaining kind of that small, if you can say, small community vibe on the Strip, which is why Mandarin was one of our partners. Sorry, Mandarin, but Four Seasons became a great partner. So places that maybe we might see some locals at, but also, be able to tap into some tourists. So really looking to connect and grow on the Strip for Lulu.
Nice. Ash, anything to add?
I would just say I think the location was perfect because the properties that we were at, in addition to them being a hotel and having tourists, there was also a lot of residencies in that area. So it was nice because we were actually able to connect with the Vegas locals who lived on the Strip, and that was something really unique for them as well.
Yes, I do agree on that. So taking in account this whole Strip era over here, what do you think made those runs pretty special, unique at that time?
Free coffee.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the coffee was, I mean, that's what a lot of people came for. They came for the movement, yes, but then the connection time and the being able to hang out at the Mandarin pool for a little while, have coffee and just have that connection that we wouldn't have had otherwise, you know? So it really is a lot of that.
Yeah, there's not many times you can say, let me go to this high-end luxury hotel, go have coffee up in the cabana by the pool, and all I have to do is stroll to get there. So that was a nice perk.
Yeah, I agree.
Those are very fond memories because it was like that, you know, in Vegas in the summertime, that crisp morning air. And that was a 7 a.m. start too.
All
at
year.
The time.
All
year.
Oh, yeah.
All year long. And so there's something about that time of morning in the summer that reminds me of Run Club.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it's hot. You could go push it out, 30 minutes out and come back. And we were out in the pool and, hanging out, jumping in the pool sometimes, having coffee, and then getting our day started.
Yes.
Yeah.
My two favorite workouts, I'll credit Donald for the one. Around the world. I just love that little loop, and I think it was really smart of him to kind of create that route for a lot of the tourists that would join. That way they really felt like they were getting, to see a lot of the strip and kind of be able to talk about how it's around the world. And then my other favorite workout is when I took over the jog group and I made us do squats upstairs. Do you remember that?
I forgot about that. And we also did pull-ups too, because I
We
remember
did
pulling
pull-ups,
up.
we did squats, we did push-ups. Honestly, it was everyone's worst workout. They hated it so much. I just wanted to bring it up again because I loved it.
I totally forgot about that. Now I just remember the trauma from that period.
That's okay. That's why we stopped doing it that way.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing too. Donald will have to come back and talk about all of his creativity that he dumped into this. And what was the December, the Advent calendar too.
Oh,
That
yes.
was always fun.
Which we still do to this day.
That's another tradition.
How about you, girl? Anything?
I feel like something that was really unique is even though I'd lived in Vegas for a long time, I'd actually never been to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. So that was something really special for me that I got to share with people every week that I didn't even know was going to be special.
Nice. Well, BK kind of talked about her favorite workouts. We use that term a little lightly. But what is your favorite memory of the whole strip era? Like any sort of event that sticks out, any sort of fun situation that may have popped up at that time?
Well, the free swag when we had good partnerships and events was always really fun too. And I don't know that any one of them in particular is coming to mind, but
I'm recalling this, and I don't remember why we did a special workout. It was a what do you call it? It's escaping me. Sorry, you're gonna have to edit.
I'm like,
you're gonna have to edit this
play
part.
charades, girl. I don't know what's going on.
Where you the scavenger hunt.
Oh,
Scavenger hunt.
yes.
Sorry, you're gonna have to cut all that out. What was the question again?
Your favorite memory event during the strip era?
Okay.
so my favorite memory event for
Okay, here we go. That way you can freshly cut that part. Okay, so my favorite event on the strip, I don't remember exactly why we did this scavenger hunt. I think there was maybe a Lululemon group in town, but we did this scavenger hunt. Do you guys remember this? Where we sent people in pairs and groups, and they would find themselves in a casino. They'd find themselves with the girls with the bobs, all of that kind of stuff. But I just thought it was fun because it was different. It wasn't just a 30-minute out or 15 out, 15 back. It wasn't just a regular route. It was this fun scavenger hunt kind of thing. So I enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
I would say my favorite memory from the strip was actually Easter. Because like you said, I'm the jog group leader. Although I can run, I like keeping a comfortable pace. But we were challenged to play this chase the rabbit game. And so my competitive nature came out, and oh my gosh, that was so bad, but fun, but bad, because we were just shooting after each other and going in this giant loop and seeing if we could catch the next person. And I just showed up that morning. I was tired, just gonna keep it light. And next thing you know, we're just sprinting through across Aria. And it was a crazy morning that I wasn't prepared for, but so much fun. And I didn't even know that was going to happen, but I really enjoyed it. And I'm glad that one did not stick as a tradition.
Oh, no.
I have a question. Did you guys run in and out of the casinos sometimes, like for air conditioning?
For sure.
I feel like we did.
I feel like we did. Was it mostly outside? 'Cause,
Crystals too, right?
Crystals,
Yeah.
for
walking,
sure.
I usually caught you guys on the way back. We're like, there they are. Let's go.
There was just a couple routes when we would go through Bellagio, the way that they're kind of set up to go up the escalator and out, you do go inside for a moment, and that was really nice. And then Crystal's Mall, that was another one that we always
Yeah.
shot
That one we
across
would
the
do in the
mall.
walk club too. Yeah. Yeah.
The nice thing is we ran so fast and the distance was so short that security didn't have time to yell at us or kick us out because we were already gone. Sorry,
Or some
Crystals.
groups would run until you got to Crystals, and then we would walk for the extra time in the air conditioner. I remember that too.
Oh, yes. Cooling down period.
Cooling down period. This is our walk break.
Oh, man. I do want to bring up my somewhat favorite memory event, at least one of the events that come to mind is the collaboration we did with Kopari. If we remember that, that was a pretty big like brand event that we did. Everyone got some swag. We did a little yoga by the pool situation. They had, it was very branded with Mandarin Oriental, Lululemon, and Kopari. That was a really good one. And a side story I want to mention, shout out to Christine, because she that was her first run with us, but she will always say she came for this free swag, but she's still here.
I know.
Shout out to her. Oh my God. Now we talked about the strip era a little bit. Now, do any of you remember when the idea came about having a second day in a different location? Because as we know, Stride Vegas from the beginning, before we had a name, we met on Wednesday mornings at 7 a.m. year round. So do y'all remember when we kind of decided on a second day?
Go. Yeah, you do.
Get it?
Okay.
Well, I just remember we started on a second day because so many people weren't able to make Wednesday. It was the middle of the work week. And then also some people didn't love coming down to the strip. Although we tried to make parking easy, there's just always that perception that I think stopped a lot of people from wanting to come. So switching it up to downtown, we put it on a weekend. We put it more in the arts district. So you're staying out of that heavily trafficked area. And I think it just made it a little more approachable for people to want to try.
How about you, BK and Jen? Any memories
I
from
mean,
that
I
period?
think at some point we, because of the hotel transition too, it wasn't that around a little simultaneous.
Yes.
And so I think that was also part of that as well. Like the climate at the property had changed a little bit, and so we had to make some adjustments, and it was also time for an evolution, I think.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Anything, BK?
No, I mean, I'm glad you mentioned that because it completely escaped my mind. But yeah, that's my recollection too, from sort of that transition. And then it made sense to transition to a weekend too.
Yeah. And we were doing a lot of like supporting other events, and we came across Miss Allie from Allie Fitness. If you haven't been there, it's an amazing kind of Pilates yoga studio in the heart of the Arts District. And fun fact, you know how this town is like six degrees of separation? She used to live at Veer Towers and used to come down to our strip run, and then we were reconnected through her studio, and we're like, let's collab, blah blah blah. So I know, from my perspective, I know how partly the reason as well of getting into the Arts District. I was like, well, we have an in with a collab, we get to probably meet a whole different community of people. So
Yeah, that was it. Oh, I forgot about the alley connection.
yeah, the good old alley.
I know.
The good old alley, which we're going to get into actually for sure. So we'll definitely get into that. This is almost like a two-parter story in a sense, because there's a lot of evolution of how where Stride meets up and all that stuff. So for the first Arts District run, any memorable moments by any chance? And I do want to point out this was the beginning of 2020.
It was. It was the beginning. Yes. I mean, obviously during lockdown, as soon as everything started getting locked down, the memories of us like sheepishly meeting in a parking lot, 2 arms length distance apart from each other, masks outside.
Yes.
It was a very unusual time, but we all needed it because a lot of us, you know, the hotels had shut down, our jobs were being put on hold. And you talk about building a community out of that experience. Honestly, it was my mental savior, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just remember I did not go downtown often, so my first time driving down there, I was like, where are we?
One-way streets.
One-way streets. I was like terrified to turn at every turn. And I just remember, you know, flashback jump a couple years later, and I'm like, I know this street and this street and this business and this business. But first time was definitely like, am I okay? And then I learned like, wow, this is a really great area to be a part of. But first time, that was not the feels at all.
Yeah, I have to agree with Jen. I think it's just something that we needed at the time. I think being in lockdown, you know, there were some people who sort of thrived in that environment of, you know, being able to work out at home and kind of maintain, you know, and then there was a group of people, much like myself, who like went stir crazy being at home, and I can't work out at home. Like I need people around me. I need to get out. And so it really satisfied that for me. While it was weird, you know, and all of that, and still trying to maintain distance and running in masks and all of that, I'm so grateful that it existed at that time, because it is something that I needed for sure to get out and to just be around people and be moving my body.
Yeah.
Yeah, we brought our chairs afterwards.
Yes.
And we'd get in the alley. We would find some shade. We brought coffee, water,
Mimosas.
Oh yeah, for mimosa.
Can't forget
That's
the
when
mimosas.
Run Club became Fun Club.
Yes, that's where
That's
we
where
became
Fun
more.
Club, Run Club to Fun Club happened.
right.
It was definitely in the Arts District.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if y'all remember, but like we had maybe 2 or 3 good runs before we were locked down. Because I remember distinctively the last run we had before the pandemic hit was the St. Patrick's Day run. I remember we took a picture at Alley Fitness, blah, blah, and then the next week we were all in lockdown. But it didn't mean we still didn't, connect. We had our own little stride, virtual, which a lot of people did a lot of virtual stuff at that time. What are your fond memories of that little pandemic period? As I'm looking at Ashley.
I know. I feel like you guys were on the regular calls, right? The stride calls.
I didn't attend any call during this time.
I only got to hear the after effects of
Oh my! I'm so curious now. Take it away, Ashley.
I'm putting this down. That was good.
I will say it was just a very interesting time. There was a lot of virtual conversations going on, and I feel like instead of tuning into television, this was our own little mini share stories time. And for some reason, it started off as Run Club and turned into Ashley's personal life. And where it went from there, I will just say, be careful when your camera's on. Make sure you're always checking to see who's in the room before speaking. And whenever everybody else hangs up the call, text your friends to jump back on.
Okay.
Yes. That was a great line. Did you practice that? It was a great beauty pageant answer.
Learned lessons. I think Ashley hinting to some lessons she learned.
Yes.
Yeah, those were early days before we were all like really savvy on being online and stuff. So we all made those mistakes.
Oh yes. Oh
Said
yes.
things. Didn't know that person was still on.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of us didn't even really do like virtual meetings, especially with our job at the time. You know, it was just all in person. So to go from in person to virtual, And, people always ask, like, you guys met during the pandemic? Like, we met online, and it was really for, like, sanity reasons, really, and just, like, mental health, just making sure that we're all good. Some of us were living with people and some of us were not. So this was, like, kind of like our only connection during that time.
When did we finally come back together? What was it, like a month or two after lockdown?
No, it was June.
It was June. We
Yeah.
waited a few months, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
June, because I remember the moment I heard, okay, everyone could be outside in Las Vegas, but you gotta have to still be separated. And as soon as I heard that, I think I probably messaged everyone. I was like, we are starting this again.
Yes.
And that was a fun little beginning period. So I want to know, what do you think the shift in location from the Strip to the Arts District, how did it change the vibe of Stride, or how did it kind of like evolved from that period?
I will say when we were on the Strip, we definitely had a class to it. We were in a nice hotel. We were very respectable. We really prided ourselves on, not trying to like make waves. And when we went downtown to the alley, I feel like that's whenever it turned into Fun Club.
Party, hardy, Marty.
Like you said, things like mimosas became involved. And then for a little while, and I think this was, coming off of pandemic, a lot of people were indulging a bit more and then happy to be around each other. So people just started bringing coolers and then sharing their favorite drinks that they had concocted. But also I think what really made it neat was that we were able to be there when all of these small businesses that were really hurting were starting to open back up again. And so by having that community involvement, a lot of the business owners started coming out and saying hello. And I think it really started to grow the culture of downtown for us.
I'll piggyback right on that. That's exactly kind of the first thought that came to my head was, it was still a focus on community. So at its core, it still was the original Run Club, but seeing that shift to the local business, I think was crucial. And I think really, I give you all the credit, Niko. I think you really helped bring that downtown community together in a way that no one else can do. And I think those small businesses thrived for it. And yeah, I love that aspect of it. I think that the corporate biz, they've got enough business right now, and to bring some focus into our local community to help their growth was what's needed. From the downtown coffee shop to when we would meet at what is the Wolf?
Good Wolf.
Good Wolf. Sorry. Good Wolf. When we would meet at Good Wolf and be able to like shop and walk around there and get a little sneak preview of things, and it made it a really special community down there.
Yeah, and even as the years continued on, all the new businesses that continued to evolve. But yeah, I think I should piggyback on Ashley's too. We were sophisticated Run Club at first. And maybe because it was the place that we were working as well.
Yes.
And then there was an evolution coming downtown. I don't know, for me, maybe it was just letting my guard down, shedding my corporate, role, and being like, I don't know, downtown dirty. I love it. That's my. I love it. I'm like.
Well, like I said, you are the queen of Socha, so.
It's like the pub crawls. Why is it all
You were technically our director of recruitment.
Yes, that's right. We would go on the pub crawls. I was like, we're on a Run Club. Would you like to join us? What?
It's more of a social
That's
run
right.
club.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We do a little run. We do a lot of social stuff.
We move around, but we really are social.
Yeah.
And downtown just brought out a lot of characters that I think also helped us develop.
Yes.
There was people that would just show up with their little, what are they, the little speakers, and just be walking through and just start dancing and then start running with us. And so it just changed the vibe a little bit. And like Jennifer said, which was really great, we got to kind of take our guard down and really just be running the streets.
Yes. Now we kind of explored a little bit of some memories, but what is your favorite memory of the Arts District of when we first started up until now? Anything kind of sticks out to y'all?
I love the way that you brought the local businesses in, and I mean, on a weekly basis, you would either tell us to go take a picture in front of a new business, to hashtag it, to include them, and then sometimes when we were done with the run, we'd go over to a store like Good Wolf or For the Love, and we would go shopping in there and get to see the owners. I mean, there's really something special about small businesses and being able to support them. It is, for America, it is, I mean, that is the biggest part. Small businesses drive our economy in so many ways in so many small towns, and so I think embracing that is definitely some of my fondest memories. Love some good shopping too.
Yeah, you've gotten some great pieces in the Arts District,
I know,
actually.
I know, especially after the pub crawl. I need this.
I'll add to it. I mean, what Jennifer said, but also just the amazing artwork that's downtown. I feel like I'm always, and we are always seeing new graffiti art, and just the hidden Elvis in the one painting.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's cool to walk around and just look at all this amazing, graffiti art and artwork. So that's one thing I love when I joined Stride.
I will say the Arts District, kind of both of those. Small Business Saturday was great. Emily at For the Love, she would open the shop early for us, have cold waters ready, and we met Janelle, who is one of the local artists downtown, who would invite us to actually participate in her art pieces. So now every time I go down there, I can look at this heart on a wall and say, I stamped that one, and Jennifer stamped that one, and Niko stamped that one. And there's just this inclusion that was so fun that I never had before, and it really, really is special.
I would say, to piggyback off of Jennifer, actually, I just, I think during the pandemic, I was like really learning about how it affects local businesses, and I think that's where like my passion for it kind of grew, because I was like, we all kind of started around the same time. If we remember when we started Stride, Good Wolf was just starting, Nevada Brewers was literally in construction, So all of us within that arts district kind of grew up together, how I felt. And everyone, it's such a great community down there. I remember our first run with Alley Fitness. Alley was so good to just invite people from the community, other business owners, and promoting. That's what I really loved about the arts district from like day one. It's just the kind of like acceptance of like kind of like different creativity within that sector. That was like one of my favorite kind of like thoughts about the arts district. My favorite like off the cuff story is when we were at Makers and Finders, and this is when we kind of like almost reunited a lot of the founding members. So everyone here, Donald, I think Sandra was there as well, Jojo, was when we were at Makers and Finders, and then firemen came in. BK, do you remember this?
Yes. Oh, we're gonna go there.
Oh, yes, we are. We are.
I think there's embarrassing stories all the way across.
So is that a fond memory? One of your fond memories?
No, it's a vivid one. It's definitely very vivid. So please, Niko, tell everybody.
Yes.
Tell our listeners.
Yes.
Exactly what happens when firemen walk into Makers and Finders at the end of a really great run and we're feeling good about ourselves.
Yes. So shout out to Makers and Finders. They were probably like one of the first few kind of like restaurant businesses kind of opening within that period of time, So we would go there for coffee and conversation, a lovely tradition we started back on the Strip. And, it was nice to have all the founding members together, but it was still that pandemic time. And I just remember these hot firemen coming in, and I don't know, BK, you must have had like great pre-workout or caffeine, because you were like yelling at them, being like, hey.
With my Jaws hat on.
Yes.
I specifically remember how crazy I looked when I looked in the mirror. I'm wearing this Jaws hat talking to these firemen. It was just, it was fun. It was fun.
You sprang out of your seat.
Yeah, and it wasn't a big spot, so like they heard. We all know they heard.
And then we were all there.
I remember Donald's face when you were like doing all that. He was like clutching his pearls, basically, without clutching his pearls. How about you, my dear? Any memories from that period?
From Makers and Finders?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess if we tie back into Ashley's dating life.
I know.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but
Never mind.
A lot of connections, makers, and finders.
Well, honestly, though, I mean, right? You were newly single, and what a great place to get to know somebody in a run club, and then all your friends get to interview the person too.
it was so good. It was.
We're like, Ashley, no. No.
Oh, there were
yes.
yes, there were some no's, some yeses, and some yeses that turned to no. But yeah, I remember there was one gentleman who came, and he was really nice, really polite, got along with the whole group. And I remember I had to leave early because I had to go to work. And then I remember the guys telling me afterwards, oh, do you know that he paid the bill for the entire table because he wanted to talk to you? I was like, oh, thank you, and you're welcome.
I remember this full very well. I knew what you were talking about. We'll leave that for a different episode. All right, so many good memories and still making some great memories in the Arts District, but I do want to close out this main discussion with evolution. We've used that word a little bit throughout this podcast. What's something that you never saw coming that's now a full-on Stride tradition?
Birthday squats. If you come to Stride on your birthday or anywhere around that week, you will be doing birthday squats. We've whittled them down to everybody does 10.
Yes.
Not your age. When we first started.
Oh, it was.
We're like, wait, Jennifer's getting really old.
Right. Like,
We can't do that many squats.
just until the song's done.
And I think you started that tradition, actually.
I think so.
Yeah, I
think so.
remember. I forgot whose birthday it was. Definitely early strip era,
Yeah.
and we were just like doing squats, and it just kind of stuck around.
Yeah, that's probably how we got to
But
the
who
squat.
doesn't
on
love
the
to
stairs
celebrate
with
their
them.
birthday and like such a fun,
Yeah.
like it was just a fun, light-hearted way to, make it about you.
Yeah.
I would say I love our theme days. And that just kind of came about. It was Valentine's Day. Everyone would wear their pinks and their whites and their reds. And, you know, like Jennifer had said, I was like newly single. And like it felt like such a nice thing to be able to go spend time with my friends. You know, every holiday, I can't tell you how many costumes I have from our October ones. Our Christmas ones were so fun. Like there was just a really happy, bright feeling every time you go. Every holiday was extra special. And I just remember my best times were being able to celebrate those times with all of you.
I mean, would it be a cop-out if I said that Run Club still meets every Saturday? And that's a freaking amazing tradition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after how many years now?
Yes.
I don't know many run clubs that last, how long has it been? What is the anniversary? 8 years?
8 years.
Yeah,
It's going to be
right?
9 next year. So
Yeah,
We're almost
so I
hitting a
mean, that's a
decade.
pretty big testament
to Niko holding it all together.
Exactly,
And driving the social media, because that's mostly how everybody finds Stride, right?
Yes,
Is just through
absolutely.
And it's
social.
grown. I mean, it's even grown and
Yeah.
grown and grown. And I have FOMO every time I see photos, and I'm like, oh,
I know it's getting so big. Yeah, and it's amazing. I always thought that there would be more out-of-towners. I thought that there'd be more people seeking run clubs that were staying in hotels, but we're finding that that's a little less frequent, right?
A little less, but we still have a few, especially within last year when run clubs became just like the hottest new thing, and a lot of these run clubs started like last year, which you'll meet later. It was just an interesting kind of period.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
I do want to bring up my favorite kind of like Stride tradition, which you kind of touch on. I love our Halloween Stride, honestly. We theme it out each year. A lot of our members get really involved in it, You're the queen of Halloween, so do you want to speak on this a little bit?
Yeah. I think at first it just started with the pace leaders and us just trying to do something fun, but then it turned into getting everyone involved, and that really became something neat because I had to expand on just us. So the themes had to get bigger and bigger to where more people could be a part of it. And then we also created the Halloween scavenger hunt, which then we went to Nightmare Toys, and we would take these like crazy photos all around, and really brought out a creativity also in people that we weren't expecting. And then we got people involved with prizes, and it just keeps growing and growing. And it's now my favorite thing that I look forward to. And we collaborate our costumes together, and yeah, it's just a great time.
One-off question, favorite costume during Stride Halloween that you've worn?
Power Rangers?
I think my favorite costume was when I did Wednesday Addams, and only because you did Jigsaw, and we were so creepy. I remember I got him a tricycle that I borrowed from a friend, not knowing it was old and rusted.
And tiny as hell.
And I just remember I like walked up and I just like started the stride without saying anything. And then all of a sudden Niko comes around the corner. And people were legitimately frightened.
Yeah, that was a fun one,
That was a
honestly.
fun one.
That was a
Yeah.
fun one.
Yeah.
Some people were taking pictures with us too, like if we were just some kind of like carnival ride. They're like, oh, let's take a picture. I'm like, sure, my face is not in it, so I guess it's fine. Oh my god, yeah, I love Halloween, y'all. So now I do want to ask this next question about evolution. How has Stride grown or changed since your first run?
Well, now I walk.
I was like,
I went from running to walking
Yeah.
over these 8
Well,
years.
you know what though? But that's a good point for anybody that is listening. I
Yeah.
mean, we always say we're an all-inclusive community. So despite your running handicap, even if it is walking, like myself, I am a proud walker. Yeah, I think, it's inclusive. Walk, jog, run. All paces are welcome. It's important. Yeah.
What do you think, Ashley?
I love the evolution of Stride that now I go and I am happily in a relationship and no longer involved with any of these
found her
crazy
man
boys.
on Stride.
No
You-
longer involved with any of these crazy Las Vegas men.
Shout out to your boo.
Is he a runner? He's a runner?
He's come a few times, but I think he enjoys treadmill running. I will say there's something about like being out on the streets that he's too hyper aware. He's a very kind but very protective person, and I feel like being downtown, he's just like, oh no, and I'm like, it's fine, we've been here for years, it's okay. So I think I'm just too open and out there,
Yeah.
and he's just like, don't step there, be careful. I was like, it's fine, it's just sludge, we'll be okay. We'll clean it later.
Good times, man. To close out the evolution portion of it, what has been your proudest moment as a founding member after 8 years in the game?
Ooh, proudest moment. I don't know.
I mean, I guess the first thing that comes to my head is that I was involved in the creation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me pretty proud to know that 8 years later you've continued and carried it on. So
To keep supporting it, I think, just being part of the community and helping to support it as much as possible. Yeah.
I would say my proudest moment is because I do the jog group. There are people that want to try it and they're not able to do it, but I'm able to encourage them and support them enough to where they come back the next week. And there are people who haven't been able to complete a single jog who are now faster than I am in the run group. So I think just knowing that I was a part of being able to support someone on their running journey to where our community makes them feel great to come back. Our encouragement as coaches and pace leaders makes them feel like they belong no matter what their activity level is. It just feels really good to know that.
Yeah, and we didn't even talk about rock and roll marathon when it comes to town and how Stride is a big part of that. And that's been an evolution, like bringing it down, to the Fountain Blue to do a pre-run prior to the race.
Love our shakeout runs.
Yeah,
Those are
and
great.
having that connection with the rock and roll marathon team, I think has been really amazing, Niko.
Thank you. I do have to give the credit for the shakeout run to BK because I think that was the first time we even did a shakeout run was at the Mandarin Oriental.
Yeah, that's right.
We did a few on there.
I think we had Donald's wife Ellen speak for us. As well,
Yes.
that first
Oh, I
time.
remember
it's
that.
all coming back to me now.
Yeah, it's all coming
Shout out to Ellen.
back.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say my proudest moment is just like the evolution of Stride, you know? I love where it's at currently. I mean, I have fond memories of the strip, and I think it has built a lot of great traditions and how we flow through, you know, we have a nice blueprint of like how Stride is run, you know? But I think the community aspect and just involving more people, and I just love, because Stride, and most run clubs, I would say it's free to join. You know, you just come, good vibes, all that stuff. So it really does mean a lot to me when, especially all of you, everyone takes time out of their crazy week, whatever the case is, and you know, dedicates 1 or 2 hours just to connect with people. And watching people connect of all different walks of life has been really great to watch. So hence why I take a lot of pictures because I just want to remember it.
Yeah. All the friendships that have evolved out of it too, like genuine friendships. It's interesting.
Yeah. Before I get into our last segment, just kind of like wrapping up the evolution, anyone has anything you want to bring up and something we may have not touched on? BK's like, no, don't. I've said everything I was supposed to.
I'm a pretty concise person.
Well, I did enjoy this walk down memory lane. I feel like talking with all of you kind of like unlocked a lot of memories as well. So it's been really nice to kind of like jog the memory a little bit. So for this last segment, Run the Block, it's just 5 quick fire questions. I'm going to ask the question and then each one of you will go from Ashley to Jen to BK.
You're in the hot seat, Ash.
All right, let's run the block. This is a quick fire question. So first off, favorite coffee spot in the Arts District?
Darn. It's so hard. I love them.
I know.
I would say, you know what? I think the new one, Iwana. I think Iwana is my new favorite coffee shop.
Nice.
Oh, it's got to be Dig It. That Dig It coffee really holds a special place in my heart because I have a neurodiverse nephew and they support all kinds of diversity and it's a beautiful place to go. The Garden Foundation, I think, helped to develop that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with the old school makers and finders.
I wonder why.
Memories there.
And I would be remiss to mention Bungalow. They've been great kind of supporters with us dealing with our group that keeps on growing. So shout out to Bungalow. Next question. Favorite restaurant/bar in the Arts District that you would recommend?
That one's an easy one. Esther's Kitchen has been such a favorite of all of ours.
Yes.
It's a local favorite. I feel like that's the spot.
And it's evolved. And it used to be smaller, and then they got their bigger one. All right, I got to do Taco Terrian though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
'cause that's lunch and dinner.
Yes. And they have mimosas.
And they have mimosas, and they got beer.
Right.
It's fabulous.
Yes.
Well, I was going to say that one, but I have a runner-up. It's very different than Taco Terrian. Evil Pie. I love Evil Pie. I just love the vibe of the place. Their pizza's pretty good. It's just, New York style pizza, but I just love the vibe of that place.
Yeah. I think for me, I have to agree on Esther's. I love that place over there. But they have some great stuff that keeps on opening up like almost like every other quarter over there. New kind of favorite spot for a bar anyway. La Petite Bohème, if I'm not mistaken. Great little spot. If you love martinis, that's the place to go. So, all right, next question. Round 3, we got Arts District Brunch or Arts District Night Out?
I will have to say, because I tend to stay after Stride, Arts District brunches have been my favorite.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever done a night out necessarily down there, so I would definitely have to say brunch and probably Makers and Finders.
Yes.
For that, yeah.
Brunch all the way.
We're all around.
She in bed by 8, 9 o'clock.
Right.
So no night out, really.
I think all of us can agree. I think all of us could agree we all love brunch because we could get it in early and then go home and still be great for the next day. All right. Now, if Stride threw a block party in the Arts District, who do you think would be the first person on the dance floor?
We would be
Niko.
fighting. It'd be between us.
I know. I'm like looking at you, girl.
It would definitely be between us.
Yes.
You might split your pants on the way to
Yes,
the dance
yeah.
floor, and I might beat you.
Yeah. And if anyone's going to beat me, it's going to be you. And I'm totally proud of that. And your party trick of doing a split.
Forever a cheer girl.
I know. But yeah, it'd be between me and you, I think, Niko.
I believe so. Do you both agree?
Yeah, I mean, first I was going to say Niko, but yeah, Jen, you get out there, huh?
Oh, she does. Yeah. Again, she was the reason why I split my pants at that lovely work party. So my drop was too hot.
I will probably add a third to that. I feel like definitely you two, but Tony would be racing
Oh,
your intro.
yes.
Tony.
Shout out to Tony.
Shout out to Tony, who's, run.
Yes.
He's like a gazelle.
Graceful when he runs. So graceful.
So graceful. So beautiful.
All right, let's close out this run the block over here. One word to describe Stride Vegas.
Community.
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 I have to agree.
Yeah.
Community, at the basis of everything when we first started, whether it is on a strip or kind of, helping out out-of-towners, doing a lovely run a strip where it is at now. I think community is the heart of Stride Vegas, for sure. So at least we're all in agreement.
Yes, I know. I was like,
Mission success.
Yes. All right. Well, before we wrap up, is there anything anyone wants to plug or anything like that for Stride or yourself? Where can people find you?
Find us at Stride.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stride Vegas.
Stride Vegas.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on this block party. Massive thanks to my very special guest, Ashley, Jennifer, BK. We hope you enjoyed this very first episode, and I look forward to attending the block party with all of you in future episodes. So until the next run, I'll see you next time.
Bye, STRIDEmates.